All right, we're good to go, Ev. Good to go on Instagram Live. Thank you. And good morning. Welcome to Tee to Green. We are live at Glen Oak Golf Course in East Amherst. I'm Kevin Sylvester along with Jeff Meadis. Jeff Blank is here with us. He'll be with us in just a bit. And we're going to be joined by the professionals here at Glen Oak. But Jeff, I think pretty selfish of Brian Koziel to take a vacation week here on our country's independence.
Yeah, I question his work ethic pretty much every day, and this is just another check mark in that box against Mr. Koziel there.
Yeah. If I know Koz, he's watching us live right now
and
on
worrying.
Instagram and thinking like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" But
he is worried we're going to screw it up without him. That's why.
That's pretty much. Koz, I hope you're enjoying your vacation because I know you're watching. We hope all of you enjoyed your holiday yesterday and this holiday weekend. Be safe this weekend when it comes to fireworks, if you're doing those, or if you're having a good time with the party. Make sure you've got the appropriate plans.
Yeah, don't try to mimic those guys at the Coney Island hot dog eating contest either. My dog did not like it last night. Let's just put it that way. That was not a good night for my dog.
It's a good weekend for golf. The weather's been fantastic.
Perfect. Yeah, we're playing 9 after this.
All right, and you're playing 9 with our first two guests here on the show. The head professional and owner of the golf course, Tim Freeze, and of course, head golf professional Anthony Shiro. I probably butchered the introduction there, but yeah, how about just two all-around fantastic guys?
There you go, PGA pros.
Jeff, welcome to Glen Oak. This is fun. Anthony and I, we're having some fun now. We're right in the thick of it, like most of us golfers in Western New York. The long days, starts early, ends late. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is a fantastic time of year, and they were ready to go, Anthony, when I came in the parking lot here at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you're late. Most of the golfers are in there. They were lined up earlier than that.
Yeah. We in like days like yesterday and weekends, we do 6 a.m. start time. First time of the day is 6 a.m. and we'll go all the way till 7 p.m. and beyond, honestly.
Yeah, we play golf till like 9:30 now.
Yeah, it's longer days, but hey, that's where you got to fill your cheeks, right?
Yeah, make hay when the sun shines.
Jeff remembers working in shops, and we used to call them the emergency nines. So you get out of your shop time, and it's getting kind of dim, but let's go. How many holes can you get in?
We could play fast to do, even walking to get done in an hour and 10 minutes at least. Yeah, just buzzing around. So that's a fun way to play golf, though. At night, get those last till it gets dark. That's what gets people hooked on golf, right? Those late night nines.
How long does it take, Freezer? I'll ask you first, and everybody's opinion on this. How long does it take to find that something that you've been looking for? This is more of a personal question.
You're talking about golf, right?
Golf, okay. Yeah. I'm talking about golf. Yeah, well, and in life, you just never know when that's going to come. But kind of the same thing. Is it usually take one swing, one hole? Like, what's been your experience with that?
Like, you mean trying to find a feeling?
Like, like you know you're just off a bit, right? And
but you're close.
You're close.
I just heard the Lucas Glover show. He's this close. We all are tour players, right? I was at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. They're this close as they talk about their game. So golf is insatiable. You just don't bowl a 300 at golf, right? You can reach perfection in other sports. In golf, you're always chasing, and that's okay. You have to accept you're going to miss a whole lot of shots, but how good are the misses, right, Jeff? How good can we get there? So the feeling is, hey, I have emotion, a feeling, with putting, with chipping, off the tee. I got something going. I feel like this swing thought that I heard the other day from my buddy at the bar,
which is terrible idea.
Exactly. I tried it and it worked. Well, then it might not work.
2 days later, you're struggling.
They said Tom Watson rode a swing thought for 25 years. He just had it going and he trusted it, and that sounded pretty simple.
Maybe that's why he was consistent instead of always searching for something else. But, like you say, Freezer, when you're in and around a golf, sometimes one swing can really turn the corner. I think I learned that from you. If you were struggling in your game, don't go to the range all the time and just try to work it out on the driving range. Go out and play, because there you're hitting a variety of shots, and you just make one swing, and that's the thing in your brain that connects, and boom, you're off and running, and you're into a hot streak, and you just want to ride it as long as you can.
Jeff, in Anthony, as we play and we teach, that is so important. If you find something, go to the range if you found it, and then grind it out, and kind of work it into your game. If you're looking for it, go play.
I agree completely.
You might find it. People do it the opposite. They look for it on the range, and they might not find it. They go, and there's mistrust for their own game on the golf course. So when you're playing good, go hit it. Go practice. You know, if you're putting good, go practice. Ingrain it, right? When you're looking for it, go play. Go play with some friends. Enjoy the game. You might struggle a little bit, but all of a sudden you might find something.
Well, and you never know what it's going to be, right? It could be just a 7-iron from the middle of the fairway that you hit exactly as you intended, and that's the feeling. And then that carries over in your driver, and then all of a sudden there's confidence. And people say there's no momentum in sports.
Yeah,
baloney, because in golf, I believe there's a ton of momentum. You get confidence, you start striping it. All you see is the pin or your center, your green, instead of looking around and looking at, oh, I can't hit it here, I can't miss it there. Oh, I don't want to hit it in this bunker. Oh, I'm bad out of bunkers. I got to make sure I hit it. All those kind of thoughts go away, and it's why it's such a nebulous game. It's so hard to chase.
The tour, when we go to some events with the PGA, and then with Kevin, he goes to tour events. Let's say the range and the putting areas are kind of full of players after their rounds. Many of them are ingraining that, but some of them could be trying to, dial something in. Some of them are looking for it maybe before the weekend, right?
Yes.
But for the general sense, if they're playing good, they'll go out there and swing it. Hey, I'm hitting it good. Right, Anthony? If you're hitting it good, go to the range.
That's exactly right. I mean, I think I want to go to the range after rounds all the time just to get that good feeling engraved. But I'd say it's that first putt that you make, like that first perfect read that you had. You hit it right where you wanted. You make it. It's like the best putting day. It's like, you find it. But I always put it in 3 different ways. There's the driving, the hitting the greens, your iron striking, however you want to label it.
Yeah.
And then your short game. I think during the season, you try to get all 3 of those on the same cycle. And like 2 of them are good. You're like, oh man, I can go lower. But once you get them going,
I want to come and hug you right now. Yeah. This is like a therapy session for Kev, who's struggling right now.
So Kev, you worked at tour, Freezer. We've all been at tour. Yeah. So you how often do you see amateurs go to the range after a round?
Never.
Never ever. So that's a great time after a round. Hey, I kind of struggle with my irons today. I'm going to hit a few irons till I figure out what was going on. Blah, blah. Or my driver, I was hitting a little left. Then they leave the range. They just tighten it up and get it going for the next day. But you never see. I'm the worst guy to blame. Yeah, I don't go to the range after a round, but the really competitive players, that's probably some of the most productive time to work on your game.
That was a loaded question, Kevin, that you asked us. That you said, what are you looking for? What do you try to write a thought?
I was talking to Meet before the show, and I'm just like, man, I just feel like I'm so lost right now, struggling. Scores aren't that bad, right? But I haven't made a birdie in like 3 rounds. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Thinking it's the putter. And well, some of it might be change the putter or whatever. Well, it's funny enough, yesterday after a round, and I'm like, God, I just dropped it on the 18th green after he put it out and nailed like a 25-footer. I'm like,
I would play with no expectations.
Well, the other thing is, I'm like, well, I just took a direct line at the hole. I'm like over reading things, right? And then I also you talk about ball. I'm like, man, every birdie attempt is like outside of 30 feet, 20. I'm hitting so far away, like, so there's something there. And I'm thinking, well, I'm trying to hit this shot, that shot. Just put the ball, like, aim at the flag and hit the ball, like, simplify it a little bit.
Yeah. My dad caddied for me for years. It was just so fun. We create. He talked about scoring chances. You can have 50 shots on goal from the Sabres. They had a time where they were just nailing shots, but they're outside the blue line. But if you're inside the blue line, there's no one between you and the goalie. That's a scoring chance. So on the golf course, when I putt better, it means my approaches were better. So I putt better when I have a better scoring chance. That makes sense. So if I'm out in the fairway, I've created an opportunity in the fairway. And like you said, simplify. I'm going to try to swish it. Well, now that proximity gets closer. We see that on tour, but that gives me a chance from below right of the hole from 15 feet. That's way better than 40 feet. Hey, I hit the green, but all of a sudden I started 3-putt. I'm blaming my putting. What about my approach?
And I also, like, if people are struggling, start from the pin and work back. Go hit a bunch of 3-footers, watch them go in the hole, hit some longer, go hit some chips, then go hit some wedges. Start working from the hole back, because a lot of times people, they place the blame on their driver or they place the blame on their iron play. Well, hey, you're not making your 4-footers. That might be part of it too. So start from the whole back, build your confidence, and work back from that.
All right, let me tell you what's coming up on the show here. Okay, I had to
We
get
got distracted.
I had to get my
Three golf pros in a room. Yeah,
I had to get my golf therapy session in there. But coming up on the show, we're going to talk to a fellow from Stick X Golf because we have an event coming up here, the Duster Challenge, by the way, July 18th. You can certainly register for that. The Western New York PGA website, click on events, the Duster Challenge there. I'd get in now, by the way. We're going to be full.
Yeah, it's already filling up. Yeah,
it's filling up.
We're ahead of last year's schedule.
We're ahead of last year's schedule. It's not full now, but get in. It's a great evening of golf. It's right over here in the back of us. You're watching the putting green, this massive putting green. Glen Oak is kind enough to have us here. Thank you again, guys, for hosting the Duster Challenge at the golf course. And we're going to have beverages from Mick Ultra. Peter Gourmet is providing dinner, and it raises money for the Hope program for the PGA Reach Foundation, which helps our veterans, helps our patriots everywhere. But it's a veterans golf program that's life-changing for those who've served this great country. So that event's coming up there, and we get to award the Pacer putter to the best putter here in Western New York. We'll have that tip of the week on putting, but we're going to talk to Sean from Stick X here in about 10 minutes or so on how they can bring their old clubs, that putter that doesn't work anymore, or the irons that don't work, and get some money back and help out the foundation too in the same time with that. Also, we're going to talk to Taylor Gessel, Callaway Golf. Callaway Golf's donating golf balls again this year for the Duster, so we're going to talk to him about putters.
Yep.
Right? Today's all about putting. The tip's going to be on
Weird,
putting.
You're running the show today, huh?
Yeah. Right.
Let's talk about putting all day.
And we'll get, of course, our tour update with the Midwest Masters, as I like to call it, the John Deere Classic and the old Quad Cities Classic.
Yep.
Out there. And
best tee markers in golf.
It is. It's incredible. It's all the John Deere equipment, different holes, the tee markers there. I worked that on site one time. I wanted to take a tee marker home, and they probably would have let me. They're so nice out there at Silvis, Illinois.
Yeah, you'll be doing that work later today.
Yeah,
won't
for
you?
PGA Tour
Yep.
Radio. Yeah, remotely. Working that this week, and it's earlier, by the way. They have thunderstorms coming in this afternoon, so that is certainly a little earlier here. We finally have good weather for golf, but I wanted to ask Freezer here and Anthony, how's it been on the golf course managing so much rain, and then we've got a little dry spell? How's it been on the grounds crew?
Boy, our director of operations here, Anthony, what do you think?
Our grounds crew, led by Matt Bush, our superintendent, he's fantastic. I got like 3 texts just the other day from people that are playing on the course saying how gorgeous the course is. The greens are all great. Him and his crew just do such a great job. I mean, we're so lucky to have him. I don't want to mention his name on here just in case, other course owners are listening here. But he is so good. Him and his assistant superintendent Bobby, they're just great. I mean, the other day we had the sprinklers turn on at 4:30 p.m. They're supposed to be 4:30.
He toggled the switch from AM to PM, so it was interesting.
Small bogey he made, but we just laughed it off.
That's the worst thing that happens. It's a pretty good day.
We're good.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely a laughing moment. No one was really too upset about that.
I've had I think if you play enough golf, you've had a sprinkler go off on you out there.
Yeah. No, it was just funny.
Sometimes it's refreshing. Like today, it would be refreshing if you hit at 4:30 p.m. It's supposed to be up near 90 today.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of moisture, so the grass is growing and thriving right now. So probably the hard part is keeping up with the mowing and actually maybe suppressing the growth on the greens at this point.
That's exactly it. Yeah, and he's super excited about that Duster Challenge too. I mean,
Nice.
That's his Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, they're growth retardants, like Jeff just mentioned. So most golf courses are built in valleys, right? I used to be at Transit Valley. This is there's Ransom Creek and Black Creek. So what happens is in lower areas, like our golf course is a good dry golf course, but when it's wet, you can't really remove that moisture. So we had a kind of a grungy spring, right? A little cool, a little damp, and it was raining. Right?
Only.
Yes, but it got going. But golf got younger post COVID. It really did get younger from everybody maybe working at home and taking a day and coming out. When that's a good thing. So they kept coming. It's 38 and blowing and raining. They were coming. So the spring started off kind of slow. Let's say last year started out great. But now you can always apply irrigation to a golf course. So right now, most golf courses in Western New York are probably looking pretty good. In fact, they might be looking a little yellow and that's all right. I love fast golf, and that's what we're going to see here in a week or two at the British.
Yeah. I think Brown's okay. I think
Brown's great.
Brown around the edges.
Everybody's got this saying, oh, it's got to be green and green and green. Well, that takes a lot of water, a lot of chemicals, and we're going to see the Open. Like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like, hey, yeah. And when it's brown, you can play it down too.
Right. Absolutely. Well, the other thing is,
I just came up with that phrase, by the way.
It's like
ARF.
Yeah.
Accurate reliable feedback.
But the other thing, it also, like, the moisture puts disease pressure on golf courses too. So if it's warm at night and it's moist, that's when your superintendents start to get really nervous, because there is a chance for diseases like anthracnose, and there's other diseases there where
you don't want anything with anthrax.
No, none of it's
Anthony's
good.
fine. Anthrax is not good.
Yeah, so a little bit drier is always a little bit better, I think, for golf courses.
All right, hey, let's get our tip of the week there. It's brought to you by the Western New York PGA. The Western New York PGA has one goal: promoting and growing the game of golf today, tomorrow, and beyond. And this whole show so far has been a tip of the week, but we're going to talk about putting because the Duster Challenge is coming up here in just 2 weeks. All right, the July 18th, and we want to hit our putts online. So let's talk about getting our putts online. Freezer, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I kind of think of golf. There's 2 games within golf. One's the air game. One's the ground game. Putting is a ground game. The ball shouldn't leave the surface, right? So get really good at keeping your ball on the surface. You can go hit balls all you want, the air game. So for us here, it was important to us 8 years ago to make these greens kind of fun. I like basketball court greens. So I want them firm. I like them fast. We can play with flag positions. But as far as trying to hit it online, if you don't have a chalk line, borrow one or see one. I love snapping a chalk line. Blue, red, doesn't matter. And you snap it about 8-10 feet, and you get a nice uphill putt. I like the downhill putts. I also like using it for breaking putts, where your ball's supposed to start on line. People are amazed where they're supposed to be aiming. Once you snap a chalk line on a right to left, you put the tee out there about 1.5 feet to the right of the hole. They just don't, oh my gosh, I got to hit it out that far. That's a belief, isn't it? A trust, Jeff. And you're a good putter. So I've been fooling around with, it's kind of fun. You see it on TV. JJ Spawn won with a certain brand of putter called Lab. It's amazing. It's got an onset. I found that I could keep my ball starting on line way better than I with an offset putter at this point. So that's kind of an interesting play. And right now, as Anthony found, we fit about, I don't know, 25, 30 people already, delivered some putters. They're having trouble getting putters to people because they're finding, hey, I'm hitting the ball online better, faster, and now, as you know, Jeff, trust in putting, and that's it right there.
And I love the chalk line. I think it's the best way to train yourself to get it, because what you do is I like to find a nice straight uphill 3-foot putt, all right? And that way, when I put my line down and I line up my putt, I can see my line is aimed right. A lot of times people perceive that they're not aimed correctly. If you get over and you have a straight line, you know it's a straight putt, and you put your putter down and the line's right on that, and it looks weird to you, that means your eyes have to be kind of retrained. And that's a way to retrain it. Some people see better out of their left eye. Some people see better out of their right eye. You're standing, you're triangulating. It's a little bit difficult. And then you also can see your path then. So, hey, maybe I'm pulling putts because my putter's swinging outside the line on the way back. And you can see that with a chalk line. And the other thing it does, as you were saying, is it breeds confidence. I'm watching putt after putt after putt go right in the center of the hole from 3-4 feet. I know I'm starting it on line, then all I got to do is worry about the speed. And my other favorite drill for that is just putting one-handed, right-handed on a chalk line. I just feel like if you can train your right-handed golfer, you can train your right hand to keep the blade square to the path, to the arc it's traveling on. Just with one hand, you slip the second hand on. It just seems so much easier.
You know, Anthony, I've told him about, and as he's going to put his 2 cents in here, Kev, that basically I took a drill. I was shown this drill around Philo. He played some wonderful golf as a PGA professional. His sister, Laura, played the PGA Tour, or the LPGA Tour. Basically, you take 3 feet away from it. It's a putter length, and you put 6 balls around the hole. Try to make them all. Make them 6 times. He goes, what you do, though, you can't leave until you make 18 putts in a row. It's just 3 feet, right to left, left to right, right. If you don't do that, you have a 20 in your pocket. If you have to leave before you make all 18, put the 20 in the hole for the superintendent the next day. It's hard. So you can make the first couple putts, but once you get to about 13, 14, 15, you start to feel it. Jeff, feel what? It's amazing when you put a little pressure on yourself. You want to practice like you play. I'll tell you what, the first time I did it, I got 16 putts in. I started to feel something on the 17th. I can't leave until well, sure enough, I missed it.
Sure enough, it gets dark.
Well, 3 hours.
I'm not leaving. I only have 10 in my wallet.
3 hours later, I didn't do it. I was tired, but I got better at those putts, and then I left the 20 for the super.
Well, and that making your practice as realistic as possible also is part of it. Yeah, I would try to make 50 of those 3-footers in a row, one-handed, right-handed, because I learned that Tiger did it. So that's why I did it. Yeah, he was pretty good at putting.
Talking about get the putt online, I mean, I think obviously that's super important, but if your pace isn't correct with that line you chose, your putt may not go in. So I think pace all the time. When I'm putting, I just try to, especially outside that, let's say 30-foot range.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get it in that 1-foot circle so I can just tap in and not worry about that 3-footer.
I try to make it, not get it in the 1-foot circle.
Yeah. Well, it depends if you need it. Okay. It's great advice there, and great advice for those of you who are coming to compete in the Duster Challenge, by the way. We do have the link pinned at T2G Buffalo on X and WNYPGA.com. All right. Now got a great event, part of the event. We're making the event in a bigger event here because coming up at the Duster Challenge on July 18th, we got a chance to, you got old clubs and you're like, what am I going to do with these? Who wants these? I can't hit these anymore. Well, we're bringing in Sean Adamczak from StickX Golf here. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing today?
Doing real well. And you're going to be here at the Duster on July 18th. Folks,
I am.
Go ahead.
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And folks can bring their old clubs and you're going to give them money for it.
I am, yeah. So what we do is we will just set up shop. I'm going to have a nice tent. So people will bring up their clubs. I kind of just basically, look at them, evaluate them, and they can bring anything from, late 80s, early 90s, now, and in between. So basically, I mean, your original Great Big Bertha might be, from 1991 is, worth $1. If it's a bad grip, sometimes it's not worth anything just because we got to throw a new grip on it and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. What we're going to do, in line with this is we're going to do 20% goes to the PGA Reach program. So it's a great little thing to keep the game going along in the PGA. Just 20% will go with that, and then you get the rest in shop credit at Glen Oak.
So Jeff Blank here, he has 160 putters.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be the biggest donor in Reach history. That'd be great.
Yeah, but knowing Jeff, he'd bring 50 putters with StickX and he'd get pro shop credit and he'll go buy more putters.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, we see a lot of cool putters. I get, the old bullseyes and just anything. I mean, as long as it has a name brand on it, if it's a TaylorMade, a Titleist, Adams, stuff like that, we kind of stay away from the. What's that?
Croydon? No, that was a joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like the Big Brother ones that are kind of like the knockoffs, they're like a Callaway or, those ones that kind of resemble those other, name brand stuff. We don't take, unfortunately. So there is some times where I do donate a decent amount of stuff if it is in good condition to a couple nonprofits here in Erie and in Buffalo if it were Bunkers in Baghdad or Leveling the Playing Field is another good one as well. So we do donate some stuff. If people do want to donate, we do donate. So if they do bring in some stuff that's, not of value, we do donate stuff. So
all right, I got one, Sean,
to do that.
Sean, one final question. Is there anything that's like in high demand that someone that you're really looking for? Is it left-handed clubs? Where those putters by Jeff Blank, he's a lefty. Is it left-handed clubs? Is there a certain club that's in demand that you'll pay more for?
I mean, putters are always a good thing because people like to tinker. Like the guys are saying. I was listening to the show. I mean, they're looking for the right arrow. You need to make the putt with the right arrow. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, it has to be in pretty decent condition, and we like everything.
Awesome. All right. Well, we hope everybody and anybody can come and do that, right? You don't have to just be competing with Duster. Is it be here during those times, Anthony, or is it?
Yeah, and Sean's pretty good about if you have let's say a heavy load or something, he'll schedule a time. He'll be here. They can drop him off. He's been great, super flexible with that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of customers here and myself, I had some old stuff that has taken advantage of this cool thing he does. And But yeah,
so you got some extra shop credit for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope my wife's not listening because she's like, "What are you gonna do with all these clubs in the basement?" I'm like, "I can't get rid of these.
They
I
have
might use them
emotional
again.
value.
Yeah, you might use these again. That putter might be coming back into play."
I want an invite with that thing.
We've made a lot of wives happy over the last year. I can tell you that.
All right, Sean. All right, look forward to seeing
All
you
right,
on July
gentlemen, have
18th.
a good rest of the day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sean.
July 18th, a part of the Duster Challenge. Yeah, bring those old clubs here. You get some shop credit and a donation to the Reach Foundation here in Western New York PGA. All right, gentlemen. Love all the insights. We're going to take a timeout. We come back. We're going to talk some Callaway golf, how to get the right golf ball for your game. I think that's part of my issue too.
You've got issues.
I got
like
a lot
time,
of
like
issues.
magazine.
I need like a whole
issues.
total rehab here. Kevin Sylvester's Golf Rehab Show will continue after this year on WGR live from Glen Oak Golf Club. Evan, how long is this? How much time we got left in this break? Call him in like 2 minutes. All right, we are back. Tee to Green. We're live from Glen Oak Golf Course in East Amherst. Beautiful day for golf. Glad to see people out there. They're probably practicing already for the Duster Challenge, Jeff Meadis.
You got to prepare early if you want to win a major championship like that. You just don't walk in.
Yeah, and we want you to participate in the Duster Challenge. It's coming up on July 18th. It's in the evening here. It's a Friday evening. It will be perhaps the most fun at a charity event you're going to have. And I know we have a lot of fun at charity events here in Western New York, but it's an evening. You don't have to be a great putter to participate. Come out and have a great time. We're going to feed you Pita Gourmet. They are catering the event again. They did an awesome job last year. Michelob Ultra is providing beverages. I want to thank quickly our sponsors too. Ivy League Construction, new to us this year. Lockport Self-Storage, with their sponsorship. And Golf Buffalo is also sponsoring the event this year, at all raising funds for the Western New York PGA Reach Foundation and the Hope Program. And part of that, again this year, Callaway Golf is stepping up and donating all the golf balls. So you're going to walk out of here with a brand new ball or two. And Taylor Gessel from Callaway Golf joins us right now. Taylor, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Taylor, you're going to be there with some putters too if we want to fiddle around with and try some of those putters you have, aren't you?
I always like to bring the new stuff around just so that people can, all of our players can have a nice, cool experience with one of the new putters if they haven't had the chance to experience it themselves. And so I'm always very happy to participate in this event. It's an awesome way to raise some money, but also very cool to see all the putting skills out there.
Yeah, we appreciate you and Callaway Golf for being generous with that year in and year out. So let's talk about some things with Callaway Golf here, and let's talk about putters. Odyssey putters. That's the brand, and there's a lot of talk. We talked about it before. There's a brand that's come into there. We won't mention their names in this segment, but the zero torque type putter, and Odyssey has answered that demand. I think last year we were talking about the Jailbird coming back, right?
Yeah, but explain zero torque, because people,
Yes.
I don't think people understand what zero torque putters mean.
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and it's such a trendy part of the industry right now. We see it, Kevin, like you mentioned, with a couple multiple brands, but ours specifically the square-to-square models. I bet people would probably be seeing social media posts and commercials for square-to-square. See a lot of tour players transitioning to some of these zero torque putters, and to kind of give the simplest answer, putters commonly, when anyone would be walking into their shop, they have certain aspects of weight balance that are meant to counteract some of the aspects of our stroke within the putter swing, to be able to make sure that that face is square to your target on impact, relative to maybe any of the twisting and turning that you might have made throughout your stroke. Zero torque is a little bit different than that. It actually doesn't take a specific weight balance, whether it might be a face balanced putter or toe hang putter. It's effectively a stroke balanced putter. It is going to continue to follow your stroke wherever you take it. And so if you hold one in your hands and kind of turn it in your fingers, where a balanced putter that has a specific balance to it will want to return back to a specific balance, these zero torque putters will just kind of twist and turn in your hand. And so the effective strategy behind that is that if you have a consistent stroke and you want to be able to, in some aspects of your putting game, dictate certain pacing, dictate certain face angles on impact, you won't have the resistance of the putter that maybe wants to be able to force you a certain way that you might have been maybe fit to in the past based on certain sides of the cup that you would be missing or certain directions that you had trouble with. These are just going to follow your stroke. And if you can effectively make good putter strokes and put it towards the hole in the direction that you need it to go, combined obviously with the AI One Face technology that we have to be able to help you with the distance control as well, you're able to really have a combination that as you become a better putter and you have certain strategies that you want to maintain on the putting greens, putter's just going to come along right with you, and it's going to follow along with all of the techniques that you put into it.
And are they center shafted by nature?
They are center shafted by nature, and the way in which we have to weight these putters to be able to actually maintain that zero torque aspect of it, you will have a center shaft to it. We have great head models within the square to square line that will still give you a great visual cue. It is one of the biggest parts of putter head style choices is what it looks like. As you're seeing your line, as you're setting yourself up for your putts, the visualization on the top of putters, we've had our triple track technology on it before. Some of our most popular models are going to have great sight lines and visuals to it. The center shaft option that we use in square to square certainly isn't more of an aspect of the weighting that we need to be able to maintain the zero torque behind it. But then we also have different head models. We have 5 different head models now to choose from that will give you the great visual cues that we're used to as well.
Yeah, I think what I like as well, Taylor, is you can customize the putter based on preference for the individual. So if you're 34-inch length, you can do that. If you're kind of counterbalanced 38-inch, you got that option, and then you also have the broomstick option. Talk about go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking
those
about a guy that has
alternative putters that you mentioned.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you're going to have all the left-handed models available at the Duster.
When we said he has 160 putters, that's not exaggerated.
You know that I bring all the lefties that I possibly can have on hand. But alternative putters themselves. So we have, we have the kind of common understanding of what
All right, we're back here on Tee to Green. Apologize for that quick interruption. We made a bogey there, maybe a double.
Maybe a double
bogey. All right. With Taylor Gessel is our guest here from Callaway Golfer Live from Glen Oak Golf Club. And we're talking about the square putters and the different models. Taylor, I do have a question for you when it comes. Taylor's with us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Taylor, I do have a question. So, I'm a toe hang type putter, like the blade look. You worked with me a little bit putters a few years ago, and the blade triple track for a person that has that path, that comfort level. Is this for me?
It's a good question because the common weighting schemes that we're used to, like we were talking about, where players have some aspect of toe hang to be able to correct certain arc patterns that they have within their backswing. Just because square to square and these zero torque putters do necessitate some aspect of consistency, because that head is not going to self-correct, in the way in which face balance or toe hang putters are going to have that weight to kind of push back against the arc pattern that you have to make sure that face is square on impact. Players that have those and understand the archetypes that they have, and that's why they use those weight schemes before, really doesn't preclude them from using square to square. We use the foresight technology in our GC quads to be able to see how consistent you are within that pattern. Because if you have an aspect of consistency in that pattern, then toe hang, a specific toe hang putter could be at least better for you. But square to square, because there are players that have, they have the technique that would lead them to toe hang, but then sometimes maybe the putter's facing the other way. Sometimes those toe hangs would then work against you, right? So it certainly doesn't preclude you from looking at square to square, and it would really come down to how consistent within your stroke is the need for a certain weight balance versus if it varies side to side, something like square to square would at least allow your stroke to continue on the same path, as opposed to maybe overcorrect or undercorrect.
Sounds like a terrible thing to have. I have toe hang, right? Sounds like a
Go to the doctor.
As you say, it sounds like an ailment you've got there.
That toe hang just hit the surge protector to turn the power off.
Yeah, right.
Well, or a tripwire.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Taylor, final thing for you. Folks are going to get a chance to sample some Callaway golf balls if they haven't already when they come to the Duster Challenge. Callaway does have some alignment aids on the golf balls, right? Like, tell us what you've come up with to maybe help the line for putting, or to pick out that right golf ball for you.
It's becoming more important every year when I look at the data every year behind the golf balls that are at least sold within the territory that I look at. Some aspect of visual alignment or alignment aid is only becoming more important. Triple Track is obviously our most popular. You see 3 lines on there that are meant to actually mimic. I think Kevin, you and I have talked about this. They're actually meant to mimic the lines on aircraft carriers, so that as you're looking down the sight line of the where you are expecting to putt, those lines actually elongate past the kind of aspect of your vision, and so it makes it a little bit easier to align yourself to targets that are further away. We also have other models. I mean, we still have a lot of True Vis golf balls out there. Players are familiar with the soccer ball looking versions of them. That isn't necessarily needed for the putting aspect, but it's very helpful throughout the rest of the course as well. It's actually meant to make the golf ball look a little bit bigger. So when you are trying to concentrate on your target, trying to make that correct contact, the True Vis and the True Track, which is the new version of True Vis, those models are meant to make that ball look a little bit bigger so you can concentrate on your target. And then we've been coming up with different alignment aids and different visuals on the sides of our golf ball, whether they're actually functional like Triple Track or fun like putting dogs on them and logos on them. We always like to have a little bit of fun with it, but we want players to have their own little personal style, but also maybe have something on there that is going to help them be more effective on the course as well. And the little 2-ball packs that I always enjoy handing out over at the Duster every single year, most of them will have different aspects of that visual alignment as well. So anyone who's listening who's going to participate in the Duster, make sure to check out the golf balls that you have this year and maybe use a little bit different visual alignment aid to be able to help you move on to the next round and probably win that trophy.
Awesome. Taylor, always great stuff. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks at the Duster, my friend.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you again.
All right. Callaway Golf, always coming up with great stuff. Taylor Gessel from Callaway Golf joining us here.
Just hearing. It's a lot of thinking.
We're talking a lot about putting. You know, it's funny. I'm thinking about all these. I don't have as many putters as Blake. I mean, I think I might have 10.
Arnold Palmer did, and that was it.
Yeah, I might have 10. And I'm thinking now, I had my best experiences with Odyssey putters. I have 4 of them.
I'm the same. If you look at the total percentage,
right,
first to 160, most is Odyssey.
Yeah, and I just I'm thinking about my putter.
They're very popular. Yeah,
I like the white hot face. I like that soft feel.
That's the one.
I used to have the Rossi. If you remember the old.
Oh yeah,
I remember the Rossi.
Yeah,
was that the Nubbins putter? Remember the Nubbins?
They had
putter?
a Nubbins putter. That was TaylorMade.
That
was TaylorMade. Yeah.
I have a Nubbins putter.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Do you know what the Nubbins putter was? Anthony Shiro.
He's not old
like
enough.
An orange insert with little nubs.
Yeah.
Kind of like the micro hinge with Odyssey is very similar.
I like any putter.
It was like kind of like it's like a rubber.
Yep.
Like a rubber face with pimples on it. All right. And well, that sounds pretty attractive.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like Kohang.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember what the.
I think the concept was a grip the ball. I was some concept back then, but that was the 80s or 90s. That was a long time.
Anthony, what style of putter do you use? Style? What style? Are you a toe hang? Are you a blade? What are you?
The counterbalance lab.
I'm counterbalance as well. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
The putter found me.
I know we just kind of like a puppy.
We just promoted Callaway, so I feel bad talking about it now.
No, hey,
that's okay.
I'll circle it back. Don't worry.
Yeah, Tim and I were going out on the putting green the one day last year, at the end of last year, and I think my putter was either in the car or something. I was like, I'll just grab this one. It's one of our demos we had for lab fittings. So I grabbed it and I went out and smoked them. and I was like, I couldn't miss with the putter.
Yeah.
Overall, he has beaten me more times than not. I just want to,
Well, Tim Freese is pretty decent at golf.
Well, yeah. You're struggling with putter. If you haven't tried counterbalance, I do agree with them. That's what I play as well.
Guess what? I have a Odyssey counterbalance.
He's laughing.
No, I laugh at guys that got to get a new putter every day.
No,
Come on, just putt. Something's going to work. They all work.
It's streaky.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Putting streaky. But no, I have an Odyssey. It's a double wide blade counterbalance.
Yeah. Okay.
And I had success, but my wife is
put
it in her bag, and she just won a big tournament.
See what we're talking about?
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not getting that one back.
He just doesn't believe in punishing your putter when
No,
you're
it's
struggling.
not the
You put it in the
putter's
closet.
fault.
You put it in the maybe you bring it back out later.
You find one that fits you, one that fits your eye, and they all roll the ball the same way.
Yeah.
You just got to roll it. It's what's easier to roll than a golf ball, right? Nothing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ball doesn't care.
Sometimes I think you've got to go out there and try a different putter, and then you realize, you know what? I like the other one. I like the look and feel of the other one better.
So sometimes a new putter can spark a feel too, right?
Sure.
So it gives you a little different weight in your hand. So maybe your grip pressure lightens, or you try a little bigger grip or something like that. But often I like to go and get on the chalk line for a little bit first if I'm putting poorly, and then if it takes a while. And
That's not as fun as buying a new putter.
Good point.
Right?
Good point.
Of course, Jeff Blank, when you want to bench a putter, how the hell do you choose a putter? You got 160 of them.
So here's the thing. I got a little putting set up in the basement, and I might pick 3 and do a little putting contest. Whatever one wins,
is it a random
gets
draw?
back. It might be a random draw. Yeah.
How often do you use the same putter 2 rounds in a row?
Very often. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, there's probably a rotation of 5 that I actually use.
Got it. Okay. And do you consider yourself a good putter?
No.
All right.
I wouldn't have.
We'll have a
150
conversation about
putters
that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
You wouldn't have 160 if you thought you were a good putter, would you?
Does your wife know you have 160?
Oh yeah. There's boxes that show up, every other day.
Randomly.
Yeah. But I do sell some. If anybody's looking for a left-handed putter,
hit him up on hit him up
buy
on
that
social
nubbins
media
from him.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he's got a nubbins putter for you.
I'm gonna have to bring the nubbins putter now.
And he's got. Do you have Brian Harmon's a lefty? Do you have one of his?
Well, he went to the kind of the square to square model, but I had the old one, the TaylorMade that he had. Now he's gone to that center shafted TaylorMade. I don't know.
I've tried
whatever we're calling it.
Yeah, I've tried a center shafted putter, like just messed around
Like
with
the
a little
bullseye.
I do have a bullseye.
Yeah. Those actually don't work that well, but that's another story.
But you can putt left or right-handed. If you're doing terrible, you can just go lefty with it on the bullseye putter.
Is that legal, by the way? If you have a double-sided, can you putt both ways?
Why not?
I don't.
I'm not sure if you
I'm
could.
pretty sure you can. It's not designed to be a 2-sided club. I think.
Kind of like if you have a chipper, you can't.
You
have
can
both
flip your
sides.
7-iron around and go up the
Yeah.
back. That's not a penalty. Yeah. So
But you cannot.
Go in line.
You can't. Right.
You can't go in line with the putt.
you can't stand. You can't have a 90-degree
you
putter.
No.
You can't- Yeah.
No, but here's a quick question. If I want to swing, I'm a righty. If I want to swing left-handed, do I have to flip? I can't hit the shot with the back of an iron, right? I got to hit it with the face of the iron, or can I?
Well, good luck hitting it with the back of the iron.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, can I hit it with the back of an iron?
I don't know. I don't know if that's against the rule. I know our clubs are designed like a 2-way chipper is an illegal golf club.
Right. That's what I was.
So, but that's designed to be hit right-handed and left-handed. So that club does not conform. So I'd really have to dig into the rules of golf to figure that one out.
I figured you had it on you at all times.
Yeah, I'm not
So
a big fan of the equipment rules.
All right. Speaking of the rules of golf, you wanted to say something about a member of the golf community, not only here in Western New York, but New York State, who we lost a little bit.
Yeah, we lost a friend, Joe Enright. A lot of people in the golf community would know Joe. He was a member at Lancaster Country Club when I was the professional there for years. He was our president, and he also served on the New York State Golf Association, and he was a rules official. So a lot of players that played in amateur events got to interact with Joe. He was a wonderful man, wonderful to talk to.
We'd see him at the Porter Cup.
Yeah, we'd see him all the time,
Yeah.
and we'd see him at all the events. And I'm gonna miss not having Joe around at golf tournaments. He was a good man, and I really enjoyed being around him.
Yeah, I just enjoyed to have a conversation with him, a nice conversation once a year at Lancaster. One of our
It would last a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it would. No, but he was a great man to talk to, and our thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to the Enright family.
Yes.
All right, with that, we'll come back and we're going to check that PGA Tour leaderboard as we'll have our final segment coming up from Glen Oak Golf Club here in East Amber. Beautiful day for golf. Great weekend to get out there and spend some time with family and friends. Call the pro shop here at Glen Oak for a tee time. Get it in there. They're going to be running all day long here. So they'll fit you in this weekend here on Tee to Green. Back in a moment. Donna actually has 3 putters in her bag. Yeah. Well, I gave her this Wilson putter blade. And then she took that counterbalance one because we're working on it. She was has a toe down. I go, you gotta lower that thing. And then she took. I have a thick grip Nike Method, super stroke grip. Like she's got that too. And I was like, I'm like, can I get that counter? She takes the counterbalance on them. But Dylan actually has my all-time favorite putter, and he's got a white hot blade. That's the one, my best putting I ever done with that putter. So I'm going to grab that back and put it in my bag.
I'm doing the senior. You're doing the regular.
Plumber neck.
Are you going to do the women's or?
Yeah, there is no women's.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll do the seniors. There is no seniors.
Yeah, but we still.
Yeah, you just say
I'll just go to one last week.
Sounds good.
2 people walked in. I just saw him walk by. Oh, I didn't know there was another one yet. I didn't think of that.
Kenway Chrome Saw, First Tee, Western New York. Okay. Yes. Do we have a hard out? Not really. Okay. Yes, yes, please. Yep.
It is nice out.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Sorry, what's that? Oh. All right, back on Tee to Green live from Glen Oak Golf Club in East Amherst, and we have the John Deere Classic. It's in Silvis, Illinois. They're already teeing off, or actually already. I think they're getting going here shortly because moving up due to storms. But Doug Gim, the Gim Reaper.
That's a cool nickname.
He doesn't go by it, but we call him that, the Gim Reaper. Doug Gim, he was a runner-up in the U.S. Amateur 2017. Doc Redman won it that year. Gim, 12 under par, although he's putting terribly. Actually, if you look at his putting numbers this week, strokes gained, he is over 100 in the field. He's holed out 4 times. this week 4 times. Doug Gim.
That'll help your putting.
That'll definitely help your
maybe you should hole out, Kevin, more often, and then you don't have to putt.
Helps your approaching around the green stats. Anyways, Doug Gim has a 1-shot lead over defending champion Davis Thompson, Brian Campbell, David Lipsky, Emiliano Grillo, and Max Homa are all 1 back at 11 under par. Camilo Villegas, Taylor Montgomery, Sam Stevens, Siwoo Kim, Cameron Champ, Kevin Roy, all 10 under, and Ultra Potgeeter leads the group at 9 under, last week's winner. So it is going to be a shootout at the John Deere Classic in Silvis, Illinois.
And the Champion Story Report is brought to you by Donald Ross Sports. We're your hometown premium golf apparel company. Find us in your local pro shop or online at donaldross.com. There is no event this week, but last week was the U.S. Senior Open, and it was won by Padraig Harrington by 1 shot over Stuart Sink.
All right, LPGA leaderboard brought to you by Puma Golf again, just like the Champions Tour. They are off this week, but last week's winner at the Dow Championship, it was a team event. Somi Lee and Jinhee Im from Korea took the title over Lexi Thompson and Megan Kang. Is Lexi Thompson retired? It doesn't seem like she's retired.
Yeah, she's just playing in a few.
She's just having fun.
Yeah.
I'd say semi-retired.
I think that's the term.
I'd like to say I'm semi-retired,
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm working more too. So I mean, that's a secret to success out there. Just say you're retired, and then you'll start working. I want Padraig Harrington, by the way. Did you guys see the dust up with Roger Maltby?
Yeah,
Freezer.
Yeah.
Tim Freeze with us
That was
from Glen Oak. Did you see that?
Yep, saw that. I'm not sure what side it was on there, but
I'm on Maltby's side,
Yeah.
100% there,
Same.
because Roger's awesome. All right, and
exactly.
he and Roger's point, and he had a great. So what happened was Padraig Harrington. This was in the 3rd round. Hit a ball into the woods, right? And now typically, listen, as a walker on the golf course, when I'm out there, you're kind of an observer, and you'll assist if you see where the ball went, because usually you're ahead of the player, and you'll try to help him find it. Sometimes you might say, "Do you want me to help you find that?" But anyways, particularly penalty areas, I've helped players say this is where it went in, or if I saw a ball hit a ball, they didn't. Or help them search and find a golf ball. I remember doing that with Dustin Johnson years ago in Maui, and found his ball. Anyways, so because you're out there in there, and so you want to help out and assist the player like any volunteer would. Well, Roger, the ball was hit into the woods, and Roger's producer says, "Hey, we want to come to you for an update." Well, he can't go over in trees. That causes interference with the radio frequencies of the equipment out there. And so Roger stopped and didn't help him, and the time expired in finding the golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to go back and re-tee.
Not Roger's fault.
Not Roger's fault 100%. And Roger was doing his job, and Padraig was giving him grief for it. Like, you should know this. And he's like, well, hold on. First of all, it's Roger Maltby. Like, he's broadcasting royalty, in my opinion.
Did you see the quote, though? He was talking in some interview. He goes, in my X number of years of broadcasting, no paycheck I've ever received was signed by Padraig Harrington.
1,000%.
Love that quote.
Yeah.
Roger's great. And I'm glad.
He was mad that he had a lost ball penalty.
Well, yeah.
He took it out on Roger.
Right.
But if Padraig knew what Roger was, like you said, going through there, he would have kind of gone after him there.
Well, it's not your responsibility to help someone look for the ball.
Well,
If you're a bystander.
That's also correct. Like, we help if you can. It's not a responsible ability. I've asked the tournament officials, the guys on the golf course, hey, should I? And like, hey, if you see it, you do. A matter of fact, I don't know if I told the story before. Roger Sloan one year at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So I'm standing behind 13. I'm picking up his group. It's Kevin Kisner, Roger Sloan. Okay. And Roger's, I'm going to call him a journey, whatever. He's a professional golfer. He's from Canada. Well, that hole, if you know it, if you're looking at the green from the fairway, there's water to the right, kind of front and right, and the penalty area is marked. There's a stone wall. The red line's right by the stone wall. Then there's a little bit of an apron in the green. Well, he hit it. It landed, spun back into the water, and they're coming around, and Kisner's like, I don't know if you cleared. Like, I didn't see it. And the caddy's like, we think you got to go back, point of entry, cross the thing. And the caddy's going crazy, whatever. They bring in Ken Tackett, the rules official. And so I was standing there by the time I walked down and said, hey, guys, I go, hey, kids, if it matters, I saw the ball bounce, and I'm up there on the thing. Like, you see how tight the red line is. And Ken Tackett goes, did you see the ball bounce? He goes, yeah. Then they started waving him up like, yeah, then it crossed. So Roger Sloan, I saved him a couple strokes.
Do they give you direction Like you're allowed to or not?
Yeah, no,
or-
it says I'm allowed to. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a trusted observer
Okay.
on the golf course. All I said was this is what I saw standing back there. The same thing they would ask a volunteer or a marshal out there. Hey, what did you see?
Right? Isn't the rule the preponderance of evidence? Is that the phrase they still use?
Jeff, I was just going to throw in at the PGA Championship. We're on the 18th, announcing them coming up to the green. Well, at Quill Hollow, there's the penalty area all the way up the left side. So the rules official comes up and just asks all of us, me announcing, and even the gallery, and says, "What did you guys see?" Well, it hit up here and then it went back down. There you go.
Yes.
Preponderance of evidence.
And they just want to get it right. They're not there to, I
Correct.
got you. The player wants to make sure they're doing the best they can to get it right. And ultimately, they're the one who has to be comfortable, right?
Well, the player signing his card has to be comfortable with it. Yes,
I wasn't
not
sure if they
necessarily
had
the
to come
player.
ask you, or you could offer it. I wasn't sure if there was a difference.
No,
or
I
not.
can offer.
You can offer.
But I only offer when there's a question, when they're questioning. Hey, a lot of times they'll ask, hey, did you guys see anything? Like it happened at Pebble once. Kuchar hit it number 9. It might have been 10. It was 10. Hit it over the penalty area, and they're questioning. I said, hey, if it helps, I saw it go in there, and they said, okay, all right. Well, enough of those stories. All right. But we hope you're sharing your golf stories with your family and friends on this holiday weekend. We hope it involves some golf. Tim Freese, thank you so much for having us out here at Glen Oak. And thank you for the upcoming Duster Challenge that's happening July 18th, Friday evening. Sign up. We've got it, the link pinned at T2G Buffalo on our X account. Also, go to the Western New York PGA website, wnypga.com. To sign up there. It's going to be a great event. We hope you have a great weekend. I want to thank Tim Freese, Anthony Shiro here from Glen Oak Golf Course, Jeff Blank for making this happen and sharing your vice for putters.
Yeah.
Jeff Meadis, you're playing today, buddy.
Yep, we're heading out shortly.
Go out there and have some fun. I'm Kevin Sylvester. Thanks for listening to Tee to Green right here on WGR.